Hello everyone, welcome to Light Spring Glen. This March 27th, 2021, the last Saturday of the month and the first full week of spring. Some spring birds joining me, and if I haven't said it yet, this is Carol welcoming you again to Between the Realms video series that's had a bit of longevity to it now, and so here we are now in the spring of 2021. Tomorrow will be the full moon in Libra. I understand it's a super full moon, which means that the moon itself is nearer to Earth than it is at other times of its fullness. So it will be even more brilliant and big to our human eyes. So within this last week of March 22nd is the United Nations World Water Day. And a year ago, to honor this, I still kind of new to recording these videos. I dedicated that video to the efforts to bring healing and the healing to waters on various, stumbling around for my words here, apologies, but to solutions that had been were being sought for the healing of the waters of the earth. And I focused on a couple different things that I'm not going to repeat this year. I'm going to link instead, put a link below that will take you back to that video. It turned out to be quite a long video. I had no idea that I would be holding forth for so very long. But what had happened a year ago of this week was that federal courts had found in favor of the water protectors of Standing Rock. And it was a significant win for them in court against the Dakota Access Pipeline. So we were celebrating that with one another in that video. So here we are in 2021. And as I said, it's a week now into spring. A week ago, there was still considerable snow that was there in the woods that you see on the other side of the pond, there among the hemlocks. And to our left as well. Actually, the pond had a fair amount of ice in it, too. So as I thought about celebrating World Water Day of 2021, I was hoping that I might be able to get us out here beside the waters itself. The waters being so very beautiful, for one thing, and so very full of life. In the video of a year ago, you heard me pronounce as best I could the native two words, water is life, Wičoni, written on so many of the banners and shouted in protest in those dramatic scenes that we saw during the protests at Standing Rock. Blackbird behind me indicating spring here. You may hear a raven. They've been flying back and forth as well. So we've come around a full year of the cycle of seasons to return and celebrating water once more. The waters of Light Spring Glen are so live with their beauty, and I was getting the clear message that the waters wanted to give you a message directly. So we're going to allow for that and simply have me, the human resident of Light Spring Glen, finish up with her notes and some observations, and then allow just the waters themselves to speak with you, to give you their message and energies. So we will certainly be doing that. Point out, oops, that's my note sheet, flicking up a little bit of a breeze, not a bird wing. A point I was going to try to emphasize to all of you is that honoring and celebrating the waters of our lives is to learn, if you don't know it, what is the watershed in which you live. Because there are ways of honoring and celebrating water that we can do on a daily basis. Water is life. Seems such a basic understanding, and yet we take it for granted so very, very much of the time. But and certainly an underlying theme of all of these, of the work that I've come to do, of working with these, presenting these videos to you and highlighting the beauty of the land on which I am privileged to live, of Light Spring Glen, was to strengthen your connection to your natural surroundings, even if they're fairly urban or suburban. One of the ways to do that, of course, is to know where it is your water source is and what is the watershed in which you live. We all live in a watershed. I hope to find the image which shows the watersheds of North America in these beautiful, vivid colors. And if you're a North American listener, you will know yourself to be in one of those beautiful places. But to find out what it is that what watershed is, what is your resident watershed. The sun is going to go behind the hemlocks in not a too long time, so I'm going to just emphasize for you to find out what your watershed is and to be conscious of it. And then as you go out and about in your particular neighborhood or area, the streams that you cross in your travels, or that you walk beside, and hikes that you might take, and parks or recreation where you're out of doors, you will know something of the topography and geography of your native place and be able to give thanks for it as you are there traveling through the land. There are so many things we can do on a daily basis to give thanks and gratitude towards water. In the video of last year, I emphasized more of these, and what I'll be doing in the, I'm going to upgrade the notes a little bit, is to give you some timestamps of that long video that you could go to certain parts of it directly instead of listening from beginning to end. So that's something of what will happen. The Libra full moon, I want to return to that just briefly, because all of the moon cycles, but particularly the full moon, and again, part of the natural cycles in which we live, but you certainly probably know how the moon affects the tides of the earth. It affects the tides within us as well, the full moon probably most potently. And the Libra full moon of this year has a significance as well about Venus, the beautiful planet that appears as both morning star and then evening star. And then there's a phase where we see it, we don't see it at all. This cycle of the evening and morning stars and the dark times have a length of 584 days. It is the beginning of a new cycle tomorrow for the next cycle of Venus, and I'll try to find something that I can link you to in the notes as well. So it makes tomorrow's full moon all the more kind of wondrous, and it's something of note for you to look further into and see what relevance it may be offering you as messaging as well. My neighbor motoring by. A beautiful day finally. It was kind of chilly and cold this morning, so I'm very glad that the sun gave itself to us here this afternoon. So from the watershed, which is here, the Willowbrook Watershed, where Light Spring Glen and its beautiful streams connect to Willowbrook, and Willowbrook into Carrs Creek, and then at about 10 miles into the Susquehanna River. There's a barred owl singing. 2 of them. I hope you can hear them. They're beyond the pine trees over there. Not that we'll see them, but I hope you can hear them. The Susquehanna River is part of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. So I bid you greetings from the Chesapeake Bay watershed. And before the sun dips too far back, I'm going to give you to the stream and the waters. And see what messages and energies they wish to share with you, along with the owls and the chickadees, and me here at Light Spring Glen. The sun is beginning to slide behind the hemlocks. Still certainly some sparkle on the water here beside me. For your full moon day, we wish you very well. All of us here at Light Spring Glen, the beautiful ones of these waters, the Celts, referred to the spirit of the waters, the living spirits of the waters as the Undines. I often call them the Undines. I just happen to like the way that sounds. So all of us here, the beautiful ones of the land, birds, the beginnings of the first signs of the green returning, the embers of the green fire kindling. We wish you well for this full moon coming and for the weeks to come. Take good care. Thanks so much for joining me here at Light Spring Glen this day. Bye for now.